This is the challenge. Battle for a new champion.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Right Reality Podcast. My name is Steven.
And my name is Mixie. We are here to recap Episode 6, The Big Mistake, and Episode 7, So Flip-Floppy, of the challenge, Season 39, Battle for a New Champion. Woo!
I'm sorry, Mixie. I think we're recapping the wrong show. Is this not Season 39 of the challenge, Battle for Horatio's Heart, starring Nerys, who thinks her shit doesn't stink?
No, I believe it is this challenge, Season 39, Mariah's really getting on my fucking nerves.
See, I would just swap out Nerys. Actually, hold on. Season 39 of the challenge, Mariah and Nerys are getting on both me and Mixie's nerves. And we were cool with them before the season started.
Actually, like up until 2 episodes ago, I was fine with them.
Miraculous. Look where we've got. That's what this show does, you know? This show just delivers things that they probably didn't want us to believe in or feel, but here we are.
I'm excited to get into this, Steven. There's a lot to discuss. I have a lot of notes. I also want to start off by saying we hear all of you in the hotties, and we asked, and we regret asking, but we did it anyways.
I mean, we asked out loud. Somebody posted a poll, and they were like, hey, we'll do it for you. And I was like, shit.
Yeah, which was in the hotties. If you're not in the hotties, link in the description. Come join us. But basically, we had asked if you guys preferred 2 episodes together or one by itself. Not a single person voted for 2 episodes.
No, they didn't.
Guys, we want to do what you are asking of us. All I want to do is give. I'm a giver. This is what I do. But I physically can't. And in all honesty, Steven does more than I do. And I think he might keel over and we'll lose him forever if he tries to do these podcasts one at a time. It's just not. It's not going to happen right now.
We'll have to reconvene after this one and kind of see, because these edits are long. And listen, you don't want to hear us bitch and moan about this. It is what it is.
We hear you.
But
we are considering
we
a change.
Understand. Yeah, we've taken it under advisement.
Uh-huh.
But with the holiday season vastly and quickly approaching, we don't know if that's something we can do before the holiday break. Let's just say that.
But it is in our radar, or on our radar, or whatever the fuck the saying is.
On the radar. It wouldn't
It's
be
on
physically inside.
It could be inside
it's
of
like
it.
showing up on the radar, which is a perfect segue to talk about coming up on this week's show.
Oh.
Somebody says a saying incorrectly again on this show, the challenge, not in this podcast. But they say a saying incorrectly, which was great. So we have that.
Mm-hmm.
Plus we have games that Mixie has no idea about, as always. She'll play
Great.
at least one of those. And coming up on this week's episode, Confession Outfit Gate continues.
Oh, we're talking about it? Let's go.
Or does it? A Right Reality Podcast special investigation.
Oh.
So let's talk about the beginning of episode 6, which is the beginning of the continuation of Confessional Gate. We're on episode 6. It's the same outfit.
Yes.
I wrote in my notes, I really don't like this. We've been talking about this for weeks now.
Uh-huh.
And the more and more we see this, the more and more I realize this is very late in the game or completely after everything is done.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that now because Corey later during the elimination said, oh, it could be anyone that could come in. It could be Tori. It could be Laurel. It could be Cara Maria. And I go, you're just going to throw Cara's name out there?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're just going to say the woman who's not been on this show in like 10 years, it feels like. You're just going to throw her name out there just randomly with 2 other people that definitely show up at some point?
I did think it was interesting that they did that. I mean, obviously, they made the decision to tell us who is coming eventually. So we do know that they're coming, which was, we won't get into that huge mistake that they made telling us that. I thought it was interesting that they threw that out there. Because, you know, we get a cocaine Kaz this episode. And I can't wait to stick my nose into that because, man,
Wow.
was it funny to me. That whole thing was hilarious.
God, just the subtlety that you had just throwing that in. This is why this is the number one, and nobody can touch us. I mean, is there any other podcast making that joke right now? No, there's just not.
I will say there's a lot of conspiracy on Twitter about Outfitgate. I'm seeing a lot of it. We're not getting the credit that we deserve because I do feel like we talked about it first, but it's fine. We're used to that.
Also, let's just state another thing that we did not get credit for. Jordan posted a video talking about the elimination the week before and did not at us.
Yep.
We started that conspiracy. I posted the video on Twitter. Our original video that went up on YouTube interviewing Kieran, when he said all that stuff, that went on Reddit, that got loads of interactions. It's the best interaction. So many people interact with us.
Billions and billions and billions.
Nobody interacts with us more. Nobody does it better than us. And he's not going to like tag us and be like, hey, here's the truth. Let me come on your podcast. Let me explain it. I'm just going to lounge on this chair looking like a fucking snack and explain everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we saw that. Didn't feel like we did not need to get tagged. So thanks a lot for that. But, you know, we're just continuing to do number one things.
As we do.
All the time. It just never stops here. It can't stop and it won't stop as far as I'm concerned.
You know what can't stop and won't stop? Jay and Michelle joining alliances. How did you feel when another alliance popped up?
My eye is twitching. My eye just started. I felt it starting to twitch.
The Fantastic Four.
How dare you say that name out loud? How dare you say that name out loud?
Do the handshake. It's important. It's not an alliance if there isn't some stupid fucking handshake connected to it, Steven.
I refuse to do the handshake at the camera. I fucking refuse. This is a pro Michelle podcast. I'm thinking we might have to retract that now.
She upset me aggressively during this whole thing. I have questions. Is Jay in an alliance with everybody?
Is Michelle in alliance with everybody?
Didn't this alliance already exist inside of another alliance?
Yeah, but...
So what the fuck is that?
Just like, I know we've said, like, you have to have, like, another thing, but, like, you were on a team. Let's just call the other thing a team, and then you have an alliance within the team of people you're working for.
Yes. You're not mad. You're disappointed.
I'm a little bit of both.
Oh,
honestly.
okay. That's fair. I just would like
both.
to state for the record that this is actually what an alliance is. 4 people, 2 men, 2 women. That seems like a good alliance that isn't too many motherfucking people.
Yeah, it seems a little bit easier to make a graphic for.
Yeah. And they got a cool graphic where they were all superheroes because there's only 4 of them.
Whatever, the Garbage Pail Kids or the Planeteers or whatever the fuck they called themselves. I didn't care for it. I was immediately disgusted. It wanted me to rethink my entire feelings towards Michelle. Nerys, I expected this from at this point. Like, I just was like, oh, of course you're going to do something else to make me not like you at this moment. She did something before this mixie that I was like, just stop talking. Just stop talking.
Is it the bananas thing?
No, I don't think it is.
Where she says if bananas shows up, they should send James in?
No.
I was like, Nerys, isn't that your friend? What are you doing?
A wild accusation. Just throwing that out there. Like, we already got Devin, who clearly is the one next week who goes home and tells Bananas what the fuck is going on.
Oh, the Devin of it all was so great. I can't wait to talk about Devin.
So great.
Oh, God, he's so good. Friend of the show.
Friend of the show. No big deal. Nerys and Horacio are hanging out, and she tries to like spin this tale on like why she likes him. She goes, this is an exact quote. And by the way, I don't think you should say this to somebody unless they want you to think you're creepy and potentially might harm people. She said, quote, I like the fact that you're innocent.
Yeah.
Gross.
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 Fucking gross.
Blech.
She later goes on to say, he's a real man because it's okay to be different, to not want to drink and party and do drugs. And that's a good example for kids. And I go, yeah, it's great to have an example of someone hot to look up to, right?
Yeah.
I mean, man, I wish I'm Horacio when I grow up. I don't drink, I don't do drugs, but at least I'm hot.
I'm fucking hot. I'm oiled up on an exercise bike. That's what the kids need these days, okay? They need obtainable body goals.
Yes. Yeah. Somebody athletic who, is not really relatable in the slightest.
Who looks like he was chiseled out of stone.
Yeah, speaks another language out of the gate. Yeah, way to set up realistic standards.
We love that.
Nerys, for the kids out there. Yeah. How about you just tell everybody, oh, I don't work out. This is just the body God gave me. How about you tell them that too, Nerys? Come on. The more they want me to like them as a couple, the more I'm not liking her.
Listen, I guess I could just get into it now if we want to.
Sure.
Horacio is boring. I know he is the golden boy of the challenge right now. I know we're all supposed to be like, he's the best, and I'm not acting like he's not. He's very talented, all of that stuff. Outside of when he is in a daily or in an elimination, he gives nothing. He gives zero. There is no personality behind that beautiful fucking body of his. And you know what? He's so hot, he doesn't need one. But stop putting him in front of the camera. Stop trying to get some sort of storyline out of this guy. His storyline is that he can't talk to people. That's literally his storyline.
It was his storyline in the next episode we're going to talk about. That's what I'm saying.
Like, the whole thing, and Nerys keeps trying to, like, convince us that he's great.
Yeah.
And again, he is good. He's very athletic. He's fucking ridiculously hot. I think Michelle said that. She was like, I mean, we all have fucking eyeballs.
Yeah. I mean, I'd see him and I'd be like, yeah, I should just like throw myself off a bridge. Please don't be standing anywhere near me if I'm trying to talk to a woman I'm interested in. Because they're going to look at me and they're going to look at Horacio. They'd be like, are you two like, was one of you created in a lab?
Steven, respectfully, they wouldn't look at you. If
That's
Horacio
true.
is there, insane.
That's true.
Like, same.
That's true. I get it. You're 100% right.
Just built different, but truly just not the guy to be having like storytell an episode. That was so rough to get through. And I want to be very clear. I like Horacio. He seems like a great dude.
Great guy.
But just not the guy to be like putting up on a pedestal for us to like be told a whole episode about. I don't know. It just was it was a bad decision in my opinion.
I think last year they caught lightning in a bottle with Olivia and Horacio.
I agree.
I think they were like, look at these two. Look at how great this can be. But you have two vastly different people in their personalities.
Yep.
And going back to personality, this just reminds me again, when ladies say, oh, personality is so important. No, it's not. Look at Horacio. You're telling me Nerys is all about his personality. I'm supposed to believe Nerys is hot for his personality.
There are some exceptions.
Okay.
And when you look like you were brought down from heaven as a Greek god, you really don't need that much of a personality.
No, you don't.
Maybe he has one and I'm just not seeing it. He gets nervous in front of the camera. I don't know. But for whatever reason, they decided to put a whole episode on his back, and I just was not about it. I do want to touch on very quickly, Michelle, Queen, apologizing to Corey, recognizing that she was being absolutely batshit crazy, and we love that. That's called growth.
Growth. Learning and growing.
And
It's like she listens to this podcast.
Yeah. It almost
Who
is.
would know? Who would know? I mean, it's amazing. I love it. Figure out this non-named alliance that we will not mention, even though Mixie did it earlier. Still disgusted by that fact. I almost threw up. Get that hand out of my face. Unbelievable.
Woogity, 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 woogity.
It's like, oh my God, they've named their alliance the Garbage Pail Kids or whatever it's called. And then I was like,
Rocket Power.
I mean, this can't get any worse. And then they bring out the handshake, and I'm like,
the handshake really sold it.
whose idea was the handshake?
I think it was Michelle's.
No way. Don't you put that on her.
Listen, I love her to death, but sometimes she does make bad decisions. She's a human being.
Okay. All right. Hopefully we'll find out who made that handshake, because that was awful. Awful.
I have a question.
Yeah. Feel free. Ask a question.
$396,000 the least amount of money that's ever been given as a prize on the challenge?
We'll
that a
have to
loaded
get our data team looking into that. No, I mean in modern history, probably.
With inflation,
unless you're any of the people based in the UK and or internationally, and they're like, oh, I could like buy the country I live in at that money, you know.
I'm gonna state it right now. At some point, they're going to have to do something that allows them to put more money in this prize pot, because I feel like it is getting to a point where a lot of these guys don't care. If they were splitting it, it would be way bigger of an issue too.
Oh, for sure. And I think that's why the money is less this year.
Well, it's less because they couldn't do anything in the first ladder or ring or whatever the fuck happened.
Oh.
And then now they're taking $10,000 every time they lose, which is going to be a majority of the time.
So at most, what it could have been like $500,000, I think, if they did everything correct.
Yeah, if they had done everything,
nobody
it would have
lost.
been $500,000.
I still think if they did that, I think that's the most amount. And when Banana stole the money from Sarah, I think it was $750 total he got after that. So it might be now the lowest amount in modern history, but it's still a lot of money. I mean, if I'm there at this point, it's not like I'm like, oh, it's 10G or whatever.
Well, I just feel like every time, like TJ said it at the beginning before this bingo bango, and nobody looked excited. Nobody was like, oh, that's my money. I'm going to get that. And even when they're in their little interviews, they're like, gotta bring that money home. They're not like, you know.
Well, yeah, if you're like one of the top tier people, and maybe this is another reason there are not a lot of them, or they weren't on this season. Bananas is getting 100 for stepping off the plane.
Yeah.
So he's like, what's another 200? I get on 2 more planes at this point? Whatever. I don't really care. I'll just mix it up a little bit. These people are obviously getting far less than that. But it's a very interesting point, that you bring up.
It was just funny to me. I keep noticing when he's announcing the amount that no one's like excited.
Oh,
keep
my
it in
God.
the back of your mind when you watch the next episode, because now they're another 10,000 less than that.
Yeah, they're disappointed. I mean, every 10 grand brings you down a tax bracket, I guess, is the way to think about it.
I guess it does. Inflation or whatever.
Yeah.
The supply chain. We never discussed the supply chain.
Damn it. That's why the Glory Hall is not the supply chain issues.
You're right.
God damn it. We moved to the daily, which was the Bingo Bango Bongo. And I love Old Lady Bingo. I'm going to state that for the record officially. Love me some Old Lady Bingo.
Slaps.
When I'm home for the holidays, I like to go to the bingo hall where all the old ladies are and compete and get really excited and really into it. Here's the problem. You can't be loud in Old Lady Bingo. They will shush you. If you've ever been to Old Lady. Yeah. Oh, they will shush you. It is taken very seriously.
I would bring in, I would walk in with like a boombox and have like walkout music.
They would kick you out of that place so quickly.
Dude, I throw hands with old ladies. I don't give a fuck. Let me live. I need a pump up song before I start smashing my marker on a square piece of paper that was laminated.
First, it's a dauber, not a marker.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know
How
the
dare
technical
you.
term.
How dare you?
I'm too busy getting my pump up music in my ears to understand the technical terminology of Old Lady Bingo.
And if you're playing at a real Old Lady Bingo establishment, it is not laminated paper. It is like it's like newspaper print that it's printed on, so you can actually dab, and then you rip it up and you throw it away. Lots of waste. Hopefully it's all recycled. But you know what? Improve the planet, ally of the planet, right here.
Ally.
Figured another way to get that in. Anybody works for Ally Bank? Let us know. We're looking for sponsors. Okay. I want to say the beginning of this daily, which I thought would be a great daily, just hearing the idea of it.
Mm-hmm.
There were shots fired at the number one. Once again, I don't think we can go through a week without taking shots over here.
They have to try to come for us because we're in the number one spot. That's what happens. When you're at the top, they take shots.
They do.
We just keep, what is that movie where they like dodge the bullet like this?
Keep going.
The Matrix?
Matrix, there you go.
Yeah.
God, I want people to like watch that YouTube. Oh, look at, oh, more bullets she's dodging. Oh, look at her. Yeah, the shots fired at the number one were very simple, and I want to know how many people saw this. Last week, as we do most weeks, we put extra praise on TJ's stylist, and I was like, maybe this is Roxanne laughing, loading up his suitcase before he leaves, giving praise to Roxanne. Maybe she's responsible for it.
Roxanne.
I knew that was coming. I paused there just for that.
Thanks. I have to do it every time.
This week, he walks out with just a plain white t-shirt? No, sir. That's not what we heap praise on. And this is the only way I can take this is this was at us. They're like, you need to pump the brakes here. And maybe this was the stylist realizing I gave credit to Roxanne. The stylist is like, hey, you asshole, that's me. I'm going to put this bitch in a white shirt until you look at the credits and try to figure out his name, which I did not do.
I disagree. I feel like Mr. TJ felt as though, I still think it's a shot at us, but not in the way that you think it is. I think Mr. TJ felt as though we were looking past his beauty and grace, and we were just looking at his clothes, and he was feeling maybe not respected and not valued. So he went for the plain so that we could look at his face and, you know, he doesn't have to be like, eyes up here, guys.
You're so right.
You know?
I just want to take this moment to officially apologize, looking right into the camera to you, Mr. TJ, a Hall of Fame legend, BMX legend who sometimes handles. I apologize.
Mm-hmm.
I apologize for making you not feel like a real human being and making you feel just like a clothes rack.
That's not who we are, Steven.
No, that's the last thing I want to be thought of.
Uh-huh.
When people think of me, I think they want to think of us as a podcast that's an ally, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
A podcast that takes steps back when they screw up, that owns up to their own, missteps, if you will.
Yes.
And I do feel like I need to take a step back from social media because of this. I apologize.
I appreciate you acknowledging that, and I can already see the growth and learning that's happening over there, and we love that for you.
Thank you.
Olivia decides she's gonna throw.
This was bound to happen in this daily.
Yes.
So, quick refresher: this is the daily where they have the bingo boards with numbers, and TJ is going to launch them down like a chutes and ladders type situation into a mud pit, and then they will run into the mud pit, wrestle with each other.
Hold on.
To get the ball.
It wasn't a mud pit. It was apparently full of shit.
Oh, okay.
And I feel like that should be noted for the record.
So he was doing chutes and ladders into a pile of shit.
Thank you.
That they would then have to run into and grapple each other to get the ball to come back to their bingo board.
And why didn't they call this shits and ladders?
Oh, damn it. That's great. Just have us be there. I don't know how to make it any clearer. Just for us to name episodes and name dailies and be like, you need cuck control. Like,
yeah.
I mean,
I'll sit there and I'll drill holes in that glory hole hallway. I'll do it.
Yeah. I'll make a new one each week for you if you need to.
Different holes for different sizes, depending on who's coming out. We measure the girth and we make sure they fit prior and they look all good because, we think ahead.
We do.
Yeah, it was bound to happen. How real do you think these teams were? Like the fact that TJ was like, so you guys, and you guys. Because they have to have them come in a certain order, right?
Yeah, they tell them all where to stand, 1,000%. They tell them where to stand. So it was not like, oh, you're going to pick teams or something. They put them there with the idea that we're going to form the teams, 1,000%.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody stands on these stairs without being told what order they're going in.
Yeah.
100%. That's just not happening.
I just thought it was interesting that he was like, we're just going to do it like this. Just read off the names. Why are you... Whatever. I'm nitpicking. I'm a nitpicker.
It was a tough watch for me because the men were scrapping at the beginning. Scrapping. And I think they continued to do that. And not to take anything away from the ladies, but as soon as our guy, Ed, made the mistake to say to Nerys, go in there against Melissa, it was too late in the game to do that, I feel like.
Interesting.
That should have been like from the get-go, because at least at that point, everybody would have understood what the job was. Was, oh, we're trying to get this team to win. And I know that's part of the challenge is sometimes we're doing this. I understand that. I don't like it.
Oh.
I don't like it at all.
Yeah.
Shouts out, I'm pretty sure, I'm like 90% sure they brought in a specialty camera for this. They brought in like a phantom camera to shoot this, because these like super slow-mo things are not, you can't really get those with the regular cameras they're using. So I think they rented like a phantom camera to get these super high-speed shots, which look fucking amazing.
They were really
fun fact for all you people at home. You shoot high speed to get slow-mo. So you would think it would go the other way around, but
the more you know.
What did you think about Nerys and Melissa's little scrap here? I mean, Melissa just like kicked her in the back.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm very torn on this. I was very much at the beginning like, what the fuck, Melissa? You are a grown-ass woman. Clearly it was over. I mean, they were saying she was pulling on her strap of her helmet. I think that's whatever. I think that it gets scrappy in there and you're just grabbing at whatever you can. The kick is what sent me. However, when they were at the bar that night or whatever and she showed her arm, I was like, oh, shit. She got her fucking shit rocked. I would be pissed if that was the case too. But it's just the angle that we got of it and the storyline that was given to us was very much that Nerys really didn't do anything. And Melissa overreacted. And I question that a little bit.
I question that too. Yeah, I agree with you.
I don't think what Nerys did was wrong in like point blank terms of her going in, holding Melissa down so that Bertha could get the ball. But if she was playing dirty in that aspect, then I can understand why Melissa kicked her. I don't think we'll ever know. Like,
no, because everybody's going to have like a side to that, right? They're going to play their side or their angle to it. My thought was, if it's going to be 2-on-1 in there and you're going to come in late, because Nerys, it appeared, went in late after the other two girls were already in there.
She 100% did.
So they threw her in late, and then she comes on, and she just played the role of, I'm going to hold you down. I'm going to push your face basically into the side of the wall here.
Yep.
Right? And hold on for dear life and tell the other team to go get it. Then next time I'm in there, I'm not fighting for the ball. I'm going after you. I'm just going to scrap with you. And if I happen to kick you in the back, you don't get out of the thing and start running your mouth.
Well,
you came in late to hold me down, and now I'm going to scrap. Don't get out and like try to do this all big bad stuff. I didn't care for that. She should have been like, game is game. But she just kept going in, kept going over it. I didn't really like it. Maybe that's colored by the fact of how I'm already feeling for her throughout the show at this point.
Yeah.
But, like, if she wants to kick and fight you after you, like, hold her down and push her into the mud and she feels like she did that, I'm sorry. Kicking her in the back is the least of what she could have done there. Melissa fucking scraps.
Yeah. To me, if the ball was still in the pit when she kicked Nerys in the back, I think it was all fair.
Yeah.
And again, from what we saw, it seemed like Nerys let go of Melissa once Berna Bertha was clearly going to win. And even the ball was still in the pit, but she was very far away. Now, that could have not been the case. And if that's not the case, then again, I understand why Melissa did it. Also, adrenaline's running. You're trying to win.
Oh, 100%.
Nerys got you. At the end of the day, she got her. If it was fair or not, she did get her.
Fair
so
not,
you're pissed.
Not fair, but yeah.
So I kind of understand. I personally think that the star of this whole thing was our girl Zaza. She is a goddamn gazelle.
She is, like, how is anyone, and maybe they're not, and we're just unaware of this, how is anyone sleeping on her as probably the favorite to win? Maybe overall, but definitely, like, lead female contestant at this point.
Oh, I think far and away lead female contestant. I've never seen her falter even slightly. I've never seen her get, like, emotional or, like, have the game really play with her head. She is cool, calm, and collected. I think it was Jay said she looked like one of those dancing lizards that, like, runs across the water. I mean, she did. She was absolutely unbelievable. And the whole time I was watching this, I was just like, damn, if her and Wes didn't get kicked from World Championship as early as they did.
God, can you imagine them going against Kaz?
Ugh.
Oh, my God. That would have been, God, Wes and Zaza
I'm
against
shocked.
Kaz and Jordan.
Oh, that would have been amazing. It made me, again, upset that they got kicked off of that show as early as they did.
And she even said when Kaz came in later, like, I lost by like 13 seconds or something like that, which has got to be the closest final result ever.
And I would just like to say, it's not really fair to Zaza. Cocaine Kaz may have been on some extracurriculars that sped some things up. So maybe we check her blood work for some performance enhancers, and Zaza should have been the world champion. Allegedly.
You can't sue us. Allegedly, you can't sue us. I love the fact that Jay was hyping up our girl Zaza. I think Jay obviously is a fan of the number one because he's calling her Zaza now.
Yep, he is. I don't think people know her real name. Truly, honestly, I think they take her necklace as a name tag and they do not know her name is Zara.
Okay, hold on a sec. Maybe Zaza is her name, and MTV screwed it up from the jump. And they're like, oh, we called her Zara at the beginning, and then they were like, well, we can't change her name in the middle of the show.
This is a whole conspiracy.
Man. I hope we get to talk to her. I hope we get to talk to her, but only after the show's done, which means she would have won.
Once she's won, I want to talk to her. Yeah,
that'd be great. You might be asking, are we done talking about the daily? We basically are. Now, I know a lot of you are sitting there going, how did the number one not talk about the fact that the red team was not wearing red, the blue team was not wearing blue, and the turquoise, which is blue and green put together as far as I remember.
Oh, my God. Thank you,
not
Steven.
wearing that. Pick another color. Just pick green or yellow. Like,
purple.
Or orange, because you're already wearing orange. That's one of your colors. Never mind. Let's move on. I don't want to get even more angry about this.
At least it wasn't like jade and emerald and...
But you saying turquoise is kind of that. We go from red, blue, and then you go turquoise.
I was livid. When they said that team was turquoise. I was fucking through the ceiling. Like, you gotta be kidding me. There are regular colors available. You pick 2 of them. There's like 5 more available to you. You could also do white or black or gray. Turquoise?
No. You had regular colors last week on the little island thing. You called them all regular colors, I think.
Yeah. I don't know what that was.
It's just very clear nobody knows what colors are. Because next week when they're doing the triangle puzzle on the thing, they kept saying green. They kept saying blue, and I go, that's fucking green.
And they said red, and then they said orange, and they were like interchanging them.
No. Awful.
Listen, the color
Awful.
thing really pissed me off, and it honestly pissed me off up until the red team won, because I would have been upset if they said turquoise. But then the tides changed for me. Something flashed up when the little red sign on the bottom said red team wins. There was an excited woman, double cheeks. My girl, Berna Bertha, with a mega wedgie gets this week.
Let's go, Berna Bertha!
Pass of the week. Pass of the week.
Oh my God, Berna Bertha. Now, here's the thing, boys and girls. I got a really good feeling about the next episode. She might go back to back in the same podcast, which has never been done in the history of that.
Never been
and
done
Nick's
before.
just staring at me. But that's not a tell. That's not. And
We haven't gotten there yet. We haven't gotten there yet.
We haven't gotten there yet.
But the mega wedgie takes the dub. It had to.
We
had
will
to.
stop recording if somehow Berna Bertha did not get it in the next week, because she even discussed it. But let's continue to move. We got a lot
We're
of
on
stuff.
episode 6, the big mistake, okay?
Big mistake. There's so many big mistakes.
There's too many. I
Lots
don't know
of-
which
lots of
one
big
this title's about, to be honest with you.
The big mistake was production thinking it's going to be a real good idea for us to have the winning teams decide right then and there who they would like to pick. Because for the third week in a row, Mr. TJ is like, hey, I want to go. Get down here and make a decision, you dumb shits.
Yep. And they're all arguing.
I didn't have the mental capacity to deal with this argument, Mixie. I wrote no notes other than I don't have the mental capacity for this.
I have a lot to say about this.
Okay, go ahead.
We need to discuss Nerys talking to Horacio in Spanish and clearly changing his mind on the situation by saying that.
Clearly.
Are they allowed to do that? I don't remember anybody, and maybe they cut around it in the past, because I believe Michelle said that she said something to Corey like, think about your partners or something, when he was thinking about who to bring in. I don't know what's going on, but this is the first time we are seeing outside people influence the vote of the winners, and I did not like that at all. Who does she think she is?
Some might call that politicking.
I would call it
I'm not going to sit here and say that maybe this didn't start a little bit as politicking and turned into a real relationship later. I'm not going to say that.
No, you wouldn't say that.
I would never say that directly into that camera lens.
No, that would be ridiculous.
It would be ridiculous because she loves the fact that he's innocent.
I think it's a huge plus for her.
I mean, other people have said it. Jay's like, you don't want that smoke.
Uh-huh.
He said that. Olivia's like, they've met before. I didn't really think they would like each other. Honestly, I'm going to make just a really quick statement here.
Ooh.
I don't think Horacio in any world would say no to a lady who maybe approached him. I feel like he would feel bad for saying no.
Didn't he eventually say no to Laurel, although it took a while?
Oh, because he had somebody at home, kind of. And he didn't even say that at the beginning. He was just like,
Yeah. He
Right?
seemed to get away with that one.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, she's pursuing him, and he knows. I mean, I think it's very funny because I think twice now in his confession, he goes, as if he was, like, trying to, like, say something, maybe, like, Mariah. I don't know if that's a little shade to Mariah, but he goes, Nerys is very single.
Yes. I noticed that they keep using that clip, and it hit my ear weird, too. Like, yeah, we know. Why is that? Like, oh, she's very single, so I'm going to be a go ahead and go for it? Like, all right.
Yeah. Mariah is not very single, but James doesn't give a shit, and neither does Mariah. So whatever.
There was another situation that happened here with Big T. Mr. TJ is pissed because they won't make a decision. So he makes them go individually and decide who is voting for who, right? Big T then says she doesn't know what is going on. Girl, they just, because she's like, oh, Horacio and Kylan are on there. Like, well, how could Melissa get? They just said who they voted for. They just said to your face how it happened. What do you mean you don't know what's going on?
Yeah.
Kylan is one person. He cannot change the minds of all of these people, and he clearly tried and clearly couldn't do it.
Yeah, it didn't work. Kylan was like trying to do that. This brings me to another point about Kylan. I think this was my note for next episode. Is like, I don't think Kylan's on Team USA anymore. How could he be on Team USA?
Well, him and Mariah both. Him and Mariah.
Yeah. It's just, and I'm wondering, it has to be like that everything is evolving in the house, as it probably usually does throughout the course of the season. But like, they're trying to keep this whole, maybe they think we're dumb and we can't process it, which probably a lot of people watching the show are. But like,
Not the hotties.
do we really need to be told that it's like USA versus UK? I think we get that. I don't need the graphics to tell me who's on which side, because if anything, they've just made it more confusing, because I'm like, well, that person was in that graphic, but now they're voting for this person, and Kylan's with Melissa, but he's you. No.
I couldn't agree with you more. I'm always just like, who is on whose team? I know they're all in one big alliance, but like, what is actually going on here?
I have no idea. We leave the daily, we go home.
Yes.
This is the point, completely changed. It solidified that I was completely out of Nerys at this point. She gets back to the house. She goes, I'm not 100% with her because of what she did today. She waited for me. She tried to choke me out. And I'm just like, I'm just going to stop you there, Nerys. What a fucking act this was. What an act. You weren't with Melissa ever. You're like, oh, that, her kick you in the back is the reason that you're not like with her now? You were never with her.
Mm-hmm.
She was so far down on your list. Her and Big T were probably at the bottom of your list. Bertha above them on your list.
Mm-hmm.
But now you're 100% out on her. Just stop. Just stop. Stop. Like, it's what you always say, right? You think these people don't realize that they're being recorded the entire time. Like, you're on Team USA. You're in whatever superhero alliance you're part of as well. Let's not try to make people... Don't do the hand. Don't you dare do the hand.
I'm going to do it every time.
Let's not try to make people think that this changed your mind so you look like a better person. We've seen all the other stuff.
She really is acting like everything revolves around her, and I want to know what we're not seeing that's giving her this like unknown power. This is her second
It's
season.
called being hot, Mixie. Come on.
I keep forgetting that is such a big factor. I'm such an idiot. Do you think she manifested this?
Yeah, 1,000%. I know we joke about this, but I do think there's some serious, like, I'm missing a word here. Serious, like, substance to this idea that, I don't know, if you're an incredibly hot person and everybody wants to do stuff for you, you always think your ideas are probably right. And like, people don't go against you. You're also outgoing, so you seem like a leader and people want to follow you.
Yeah.
I do think there's some of that there that kind of puts blinders on to the rest of like how you're perceiving what else is happening around you at the same time.
It would make sense to me if she didn't fuck up that, like, what, 2 dailies ago or whatever the fuck it was?
Yeah, the swimming thing, yeah.
Yeah. And there seems to be no consequence for her for that. What's going on with that? Which brings me back to Mariah. She keeps going against her alliance, and she seems to be getting no consequence for that either. But Raven says one thing to another person, and we're all just going to go guns blazing at her?
Done.
Still?
She's out.
Still? She was up for debate in this fucking episode.
I do think what we're seeing now is clearly what was going on a few weeks ago with the ladies on Twitter. There was clearly a fraction that happens at some point down the line.
Yeah.
with a lot of stuff that we don't see here, a lot of stuff that's probably like, oh, I heard you said this, I heard you said that after all this, that kind of pieces everything together and we see why certain people stick out. But it's starting to give me like some weird like high school vibes with certain things, you know, like, and I'm just like, oh yeah, the popular girls can't do anything wrong. They will never face any repercussions for anything else. And unless you're in with the plastics, you're out. Kitty Herring. So
that is kind of what it is. I'm not a fan of it. But I was a fan of Olivia's face in the background while Horacio was giving Nerys a lap dance. Please tell me you saw all of that.
Mixie.
Oh my God, I was in tears.
If Olivia's on screen, locked in. I'm locked in with my girl.
She looked great, and she was fucking killing the background facial expressions, murdering
Obviously
him.
she was. Obviously she was. She's
expressions of
everywhere.
the season right there.
She's so great because you would think after last season, what happened to her in the final and her performance through the season, you would think they would start giving her the Horacio treatment, right? Like, we just need her opinion about everything. And they're still just sprinkling her in. Like, they're not like being like, this is our new female lead. We're going to want her and Tori to be our female leads for the next 10 years of the show. Like, they're not doing that with her as of yet. We'll see how that goes. But she's always giving when she's on screen, whether it's the fit, whether it's what she says. She's just always giving.
It was great.
Big T was sensing that we were down after, Nerys is like, I'm 100% out because she kicked me in the back. Big T was like, I got to get Mixie and Steve's spirits back up. I just got to bring them back to life. And she decided to bring us to the thing that I teased earlier ahead. Well, just trying to give us a saying, but not giving us a saying.
Yeah.
She said, I'm going to let the cookies lay where they crumble.
I like that better. I like it better.
That was my follow-up. Do you like that better than that's the way the cookie crumbles?
I do. And I love that's the way the cookie crumbles because I'm a big Bruce girl. But I laughed out loud at that. And then I was quickly followed up by confusion with Big T and Raven. When the fuck did they become on each other's teams? And what the fuck is going on there?
Maybe from the beginning. This is the thing. I do feel like
Raven said Big T's name week 1, and Raven got fucking fully voted into elimination, which means Big T said her name. So what the fuck is that?
Well, I mean, like, after she
shit.
feels she got ostracized from Team USA, she's like, well, I was hanging out with like an Aussie Brit and you're a Brit, and I feel like I'm on the outside of this group, so maybe I should hang out with you guys more because at least maybe I'll be your number 3 in the group. Everybody's like trying to like be over here and be over there and being in the middle, but not being over there. It's very tough to follow, honestly.
Yes.
And I wouldn't mind that, honestly, if 85% of the show was not that part of the show.
Yes.
Like, Club Time now, which we're approaching in this episode, is all just strategy now. That's all we talk about for about 85% of the show. So it just makes it so much like harder. Do you feel that too watching? Like, I'm like,
yes. I keep, every time I see the club, I keep holding out this hope that we will get bus footage from the ride back because I know that is where the best fucking nuggets are happening. And I know I am missing all of it so that fucking Nerys and Melissa can scream at each other in a booth in the corner of this club that they keep going to. I'm over it. Also, like, they're trying to shove this Horacio Nerys couple in our face. Are they quite possibly the hottest couple that I've seen on this show? Yes. Are they also the most boring couple I've seen on this show? Yes.
Yeah.
I don't care. If they're going to have babies, sure, they're hot as fuck. But I just do not care about their relationship. I do not care about any of these conversations we're having at the club.
No.
None of them matter. If you're gonna fucking sit here and have Raven and Big T fucking make sure each other is safe out of the fucking blue, maybe give me a flashback instead of everybody sitting around at the club for no reason talking about shit that nobody cares about.
Yeah, and it brings me back to a point of we expanded this show to an hour and a half, I think, to get more discussions in on what was happening. I feel like maybe we've gone too far.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like maybe we don't need the hour and a half anymore. And I don't know. Like, because if you go from an hour, like, I want to, hold on. I have one of the episodes up right now. Let's see. So with no commercials in it, this episode is at the end, it's an hour and 1 minute. And so a normal edit is like 41 minutes. So we've added 20 minutes to the show.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like the 20 minutes we've added is just game discussion at this point.
Yes.
Which
and I don't understand, like, they come up with this awesome bingo, bango, boongo, bongo, and I would rather have seen another 15 minutes of them playing that game or an extra couple of minutes to follow whatever the fuck this elimination is later instead of these conversations that don't fucking matter.
I don't think they matter right now. I think the only thing we're trying to do is potentially set up other stuff. But even that is not good enough for me. It's just I don't really care for it.
I think the problem is there's too many motherfucking people on this show, and they're trying to give us the storylines of everybody and trying to get us to give a shit about all of these people when there's too many people on the show.
We have 20 minutes. Let's figure out how to divvy this up. We got 20 minutes. Give me like 5 minutes of something funny. Like a comedy segment each week, right?
Yes. 5 more minutes of funny, 5 minutes of extra minutes of elimination, 5 extra minutes of daily, and then if you really want to, 5 extra minutes of fucking conversations.
Conversation. Sure, that's the way we do it. This week's drama, like this week's not drama. This week's funny moment is you could have a producer saying like, Ed, how do you fix your bitch pleases? Like, how do we sculpt that, right? Like, have Ed break it down, right?
You know they're having a great time in that house.
Yeah.
There's funny, fun people in that house, and we're seeing none of it.
None of it. That's, yeah. All right, let's move on, because that's just going to...
They taped an exercise ball to a tree. You know how awesome it would have been to watch them do that? Sign me up.
Like, wasn't
they
it
do it?
Zaza and was it Cal and Kieran one week were like boxing outside? Like, give me an outtake where she like accidentally hits him and he goes, "Oh my god, my face!"
Yes,
something.
Yes,
but I don't think that's what this show is anymore. It is very rarely edited comedically, and I don't know if we're in the minority.
I would love to know. If you guys feel
maybe
a certain
Hotties
way, let us know.
Whoever created the Hotties poll last time, create the Hotties poll this time for us. That'd be great. Just do the Hotties polls for us. Yeah.
I am curious if you noticed something. The next day, the girls
I noticed something in the club that I was not going to discuss because it just blew my fucking mind.
What?
Oh, I'm just going to say we're not going to discuss this moment. We're not going to discuss it, okay? So I'm going to mention it.
Okay, and then we'll move on?
But we're not going to discuss it.
Oh.
We're not going to discuss that Kyland is magically now okay with getting a lap dance in front of the whole fucking cast, and now that's okay. Okay, we're not going to discuss it, Mixie. We're not going to discuss how that's not PDA or anything. Fucking hell.
No, what we're going to discuss is a conspiracy that I am coming up with currently. The girls are outside the next day sunbathing. They're giving bikini, and we are all loving it. I know that it may have been hard for you to focus on things above the chesticle regions.
How dare you? But correct.
I'm just assuming.
You assumed correct, my lady. You assumed correct.
Olivia has sunglasses on.
Ah, yes.
Just like a lot of other people have sunglasses on. But something was weird about the sunglasses, and I had to pause at a certain point. Did they digitally black out Olivia's sunglasses?
They did do that. 1,000% they did that, yeah.
Why? Now that whole scene, I can't tell you a thing they talked about. Does it probably matter? No, because all I was thinking about was what were they blacking out? Because even if it was like Cameron's reflection in her sunglasses, they show that shit all the time. We've seen worse.
I think it was one of two things. It was camera reflections that might have been like a cameraman moving around too much, because usually when we do see them, they try to blur it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Or two, they borrowed this from a few weeks ago, and the reflection you see is somebody who's not there anymore. Which I think also has been done before.
Hot take. I need to get to the bottom of this. Anyone listening, Olivia, I would love to know why the fuck they blacked your sunglasses out. It just took me out of that whole thing. I don't know a single thing that was discussed at all.
I mean, I'm going to say I didn't notice the sunglasses at first because of obvious reasons. So, don't ask any guy to go back and watch that, because we didn't notice that. We just didn't notice it. Ladies, if you watch this with your husband and he said he noticed that, he was lying to you. He didn't notice that. Okay?
Let's get into the deliberation, because
sure,
this is when I really hit my fucking peak with Mariah.
What is she doing?
What is she doing?
What is she doing? What is she doing? What is she doing?
She's fucking... Okay. Melissa's obviously up. Everybody's going to vote for Big T. We all know it. Big T can give us however many speeches she wants. We're all voting for Big T, okay? Cool. Mariah says that, she loves working with she loves Raven. She's played with Raven, all of this stuff. Then she says she doesn't want to vote for Big T because they're roommates. That's her reasoning. And not only does she say this like in an ITM, because that would have been one stupid thing. She says it to everyone. Everything that comes out of her mouth is just infuriating to me. This is like when it really started to hit, and then next episode she just does dumb thing after dumb thing.
There's no way her real excuse for not voting for Big T was because she's my roommate.
And she loves her, apparently.
No. Just stop. And again, I don't think she's going to face any repercussions for this whatsoever.
Because she's got massive knockers and a pretty face.
And she's not close to the bottom of the totem pole for the people who are in charge. She's just not there yet. Now, later, very well that can come back up. Mm-hmm. I think other people are just hoping James goes home at some point and she starts voting that way. Just say, because James asked you not to vote for Big T. Just say that. Just everybody knows. But she's like, oh, maybe they won't know. I need a good excuse. The dog ate my homework. That's a good one. I'll go with that.
It made me so goddamn mad. It made me so mad. It made me mad because just like Nerys, and the reason you're mad at Nerys, which by the way, I don't have a bunch of notes on Nerys because she's just annoying me right now. Mariah's pissing me off.
Yeah, it's just dumb. I think when Baby Hulk was there, he was able to rein that in a little bit, and I think she feels much more confident being there by herself now, because she's like, I can play my own game. And I think we said this before. I don't know if your game is a game that most people would want to play at this point. I don't think it's really a great game. We'll see what happens at the end if you somehow back yourself into a final.
No chance. We'll
see.
She also said something about Raven doesn't have any social game. Bitch, you are putting your foot in your mouth every time you open it.
Unbelievable.
I don't know. It pissed me off. But Big T got the votes. Can we believe it?
Big shockaroo there. Why do we even waste our time on a 10-minute deliberation? Just go to it. Just be like, and Big T. Just have the voice of God. Just come in. Get Snooks from All Star Shore to be like, hey, bitches, they voted Big T in. And then we just fast forward. Honestly.
There was a 5-minute rally of Melissa trying to get people to vote for Raven. None of that needed to be there.
maybe the editor gets paid extra by like what level of like confusion they can just bring a random person in like to the edit bay and they're like, okay, watch this edit. If you can't tell Big T is going to go in, we will give the editor an extra $5,000. And the editor's like, oh, fucking boy, let me craft something great here for everyone.
So fucking funny. It's just like, what the fuck are they doing?
Elimination time. Our girl Kaz is out. She comes out. She doesn't get the same movie edit that Jordan got because she doesn't have as much footage. Understandable.
Oh, but Steven, they showed a very important clip of her highlight reel.
Which one?
One of the most important things. Our favorite daily driving a four-wheeler out of the back of a truck.
Hell yeah.
They had to show it.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Oh, you didn't think Cocaine Kaz was a great competitor on the show? Watch her drive out of this truck. Just watch her. You want to know what a great competitor is? She can put the foot down. Yeah.
She's a goddamn champion.
Foot down, and she goes right out of the back of that truck.
She knows how to press the gas pedal, and you guys don't because you're not champions.
I feel like they were like under some sort of agreement that they couldn't show too much from the UK version of the show.
Yeah, it was interesting to me. I was kind of excited to see some of those UK clips.
Yeah, like show me what she did over there. Maybe she didn't do enough stuff over there because people were like, oh, I'm not going to put her in. She's hot. I want her still hanging out by a bikini, around all day.
Uh-huh. Did you notice how TJ was trying so hard to convince everyone that was there that Kaz was a champion? Nobody else has gotten this like paragraphs of like, and she did this, and you guys should be scared. And, did you know that she got caught with cocaine at the border? Because that should scare you.
That would have done it. Do you think anybody in their rational mind would allegedly have cocaine on them in Dubai? Like, allegedly?
Yeah, you guys are fucked right now. She's going to take $10,000.
You're dealing with a psychopath, you idiots. You get in there and you think you're just going to you're going to get in a barrel and just roll around with some sane human being? No. You think a sane human being would do all that, look super hot, and then be able to not figure out a puzzle? No, you stupid morons. You're fucked.
Yeah, I guess we should. You know what, Steven? I'm going to give you the honors. It's been brought to our attention that when we do 2 episodes, people forget what happens at the elimination.
Oh, yeah.
So, Steven, go ahead and explain whatever the fuck this elimination was.
Oh, do I get to be Ed coming out of commercial explaining the daily or the elimination? Great.
Yeah,
great.
get your bitch pleases out.
Okay. Bitch, please.
There you go. Okay, we're ready.
I'm ready. Surprisingly, I feel just so into it now. I brought my bitch pleases out.
Yeah.
So this elimination is about getting in a trash can, Oscar the Grouch style, rolling around on the ground and picking up bags of puzzle pieces. And then you got to roll them all into a circle. Now, whether you want to grab them individually or grab them all together was not discussed, so we don't know. And then once you get them all in there, maybe half your body is out of the thing. Maybe it's just the top part of your titties. Who knows? Is that against the rules? Nobody knows. But then you're just going to build your puzzle, and whoever does that wins the elimination.
That was a great recap.
Thank you.
And I'm really glad that you solidified some points of how there was really basically no direction as to what they were or were not allowed to do.
There was none of it. There was absolutely none of it. All the major points of this was like, okay, she grabbed one, so they're going to make them grab all one. And the Big T's just grabbing them all. I go, okay, maybe not. Okay, maybe they don't have to do that. Can I get some maybe Big T's going to get in trouble. Maybe T's going to be like, oh, no, you can't do that. That didn't happen. She's rolling outside of the ring at one point. I thought she was going to roll outside the ring.
Cass got, like you said, like half out of the barrel and was like shuffling her barrel thing. I hated this elimination. It was awful. It made me mad. Idea. Why is the puzzle like suspended?
No reasoning. I don't know why it was. I don't know why I was hanging. Also, like, Big T is the shorter person. Why was more of her body out of the tube than Kaz's body? I'm trying to see if she's like loosened up her straps. I go, that's obviously an advantage if more of your torso is out. That gives you more leverage to flip over.
Yep. And she was also able to like throw out, although not far, but like Kaz could not have done that.
The throws of the puzzle pieces were great. Because
So
at one point, the first one is taken from like a far camera and you see them throw. And then it's obvious to like the cameraman on the side. He's like, oh, I can just go be basically in their fucking nostril. They can't throw these puzzle pieces. So his camera was like in their face and they're like, good, ready. I'm about to throw the puzzle piece at you. And he's like, no, I'm good. It's not going in anywhere near my camera.
Yeah. I hated this elimination.
Oh.
It wasn't good, and I didn't like that Big T is now like acting like she did such a great job. It just
I think there's two theories.
Mm-hmm.
One is she purposely threw it to let Big T win.
Okay.
And then there's one that's like, do you think she really tried hard? Which I think are two very different things.
They are. What do you think?
I don't think she purposely threw it.
I don't either.
Because that would just be really shitty of a thing to do.
Yep.
Given the role you are. And if you want to come back on the show, not really a smart thing to do.
Yep.
Do I think she gave everything she had in the tank? No. I didn't see her as dialed in, as focused to win 10 grand. But also, is she that person? I don't know if she's that person.
Yeah.
I also don't know how close she is to Big T.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that could just be somebody else from the UK. Now, like, if it's this week and, like, Devin shows up and he's got to go against, like, one of his best friends, different, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. What do you think?
I honestly just felt like it wasn't a fair elimination for her. Now, I think it's a complete flip when we get to Devin. I think the complete opposite. I feel like it was made for Devin for his elimination. But I feel like this one, Big T had the weight on her. It was easier for Big T to roll that garbage can around. It was just, and she's bigger than her. It just, the elimination, I don't think was a fair setup for Big T versus Kaz. Now, that being said, I agree with you. It seemed like she was really struggling in that can.
Yeah.
I mean, if I were her, I don't think I would give 1,000,000%. I'm not going to risk injuring myself or doing something that would cause damage for $10,000 in one episode. I also, and this might get me some hate.
Oh.
I feel like she was a last second call. I feel like they tried to get some bigger women with bigger championships under their belt, couldn't get anybody, and they were like, I'm sure Kaz will do it. And I feel like maybe Kaz knew that. I'm sure
easier
Kaz's
flight.
friends- Yeah,
It's an easier flight, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what other female champion you could have got, because honestly, every time we give a female champion, we kick her off the show. Jenny West. Like, having Jenny there would be a lot more terrifying than having Kaz there.
Hasn't Jody won a bunch?
They're not going to put Jody in. I don't think anybody sees her as like a mercenary. That's kind of the problem.
Well, I don't think anybody sees Kaz as a mercenary. 90% of the people on that platform was like, who the fuck is she?
Well, because they weren't watching. I think this was World Championship hadn't aired, I think, by the time this started filming. So they didn't know, I think, maybe at that point that maybe she had won. I don't know. Anywho, I do feel like they've set these pairs up, however. Like, it was Jordan, Kaz, Devin comes out, obviously next week, probably has to be Tori.
I would assume so.
And they're going to go pairs. I think it'll be Jarrell and Cara, maybe. Because we're seeing them in some promo stuff online. I think they've kind of set them up in pairs. It's like, we're going to have the world champions out.
We have CT, and then who's the last girl?
Greaseback Bun Babe has to be a part of this, too. I think they'll come out because they were the last. They won a season together, so they'll be like
Yeah,
they won
did.
this season together.
Yep.
I think that's kind of what what it's going to be like. Laurel will be with Brad. That makes
Yes,
sense.
I keep
'cause
forgetting
they're
Brad
more of an
exists
older
too.
school.
We have so many episodes in chaos. This is
I
gonna be
know.
such a long fucking
I know.
season. Oh my god, this just sank into me.
I just want to say this one thing, and we'll move on to the next episode.
Mm-hmm.
If we're bringing out mercenaries, I don't think these should be the eliminations we're doing. We're going to see it next week with Devin. I understand that's what Devin's specialty is, if you will. But give me, that did not seem exciting television in the least. At what point, we'll talk about it right now, I don't give a shit. At what point did somebody go, oh, this will look great on television. This will play really great on TV. People counting will be great.
I agree with you. Honestly, this whole season, in my opinion, has been lackluster in the eliminations and a lot of the dailies as well. Personally, for me, in episode 7, I didn't think that daily was exciting at all.
The one we're about to talk about?
Yes, with the fucking triangles and shit. I didn't think that one was that exciting. There's been some in the past few episodes that I was just like, meh.
We're doing math and we're driving little cars around and parking them.
Come on, guys. This is flagship, okay? And you're also, you said, bringing in these massive people to do this stuff, and we're having them count fucking balls in a box?
No, that's why I thought if they're coming in pairs like they did, Kaz should have had another physical thing, some sort of endurance thing, right? And you know what? If these people get eliminated, who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Obviously this affects, their planning down the road for, their dailies. Obviously, going into week 7, they thought Big T was going to lose.
Yep. Uh-huh.
Because there's a team with 4 people on it.
Yep. And they weren't expecting that.
They weren't expecting that. They thought, clearly, whoever Kaz goes in against is going to get eliminated. And they're like, fuck, we got to put... great week for us to do thing with teams of 3, and now we got an odd fucking number. Great job for us. Mariah, how about you just hang out up there and don't do anything?
Don't get me started on that yet.
You brought a great point up about this is the flagship. So recently, I met up with somebody who watches the challenge, big challenge fan. And I said, hey, are you watching the season? And this person said, no, I'm not watching the season. I didn't really realize that it was on. And I go, oh. And I go, you didn't realize it was on? He goes, no, I think I heard you talking about it because this person follows the pod and whatever. And it was just like, I don't know. And I go, okay, can I ask you why you're not watching? Is it because you're watching a whole bunch of other shows? It's NFL season. What's going on? And this person said this, which was great. I don't know what seasons are must-watch seasons anymore.
Bars.
He said, am I supposed to be watching this? They're all molding together.
Yeah.
I don't even realize which version of this show is and what network it's on. Is it on MTV? Is it on Paramount Plus? And I was just like, oh, this is a great explanation for it.
Yeah.
Because there's so many theories out there. Oh, it's because there's no vets. And I go, I don't think I specifically asked, I go, is it because there's no vets? And they go, I mean, maybe that's a little bit, but I just don't know what ones I'm supposed to watch now with my limited time of television.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I have to watch anymore for this show. It used to be very clear. I get it once a year.
Yep.
And then All Stars, I got 2, and then you tried to give me all these international versions of the World Championship and a USA. He goes, I don't know which one I'm supposed to watch. He said he'd love the USA though, and I go, oh, that's a good thing.
Which one?
Obviously, the second one. It's not a psychopath.
Yeah, I mean, I that's why we're burnt out on it too. We talked about this at the beginning of the season. We're really only going to do the flagship anymore, and honestly, did we pick the right one to do? Because what the fuck is this?
I mean, we couldn't say otherwise because next season will be 40, and we know they're going to try to do something with that.
I
Also,
would hope so.
Stop asking in Reddit, guys, about what's going on for season 40. Just don't do it anymore.
Oh, are you on Reddit?
No, when I was in there for the thing last week, there was like 3 posts about who do you think is going to get. I get notifications now that we have
tattled
karma.
on themselves.
Whatever. I'm not in there.
I'm not allowed to be on Reddit. I get yelled at for being on Twitter. And this guy.
No. It's very different because you read you go in, you click in on Twitter and read the comments.
You go to Twitter and don't read it? Do you just fucking glaze over and you just go,
Hold on.
No.
How dare you? I don't sound like that.
I'm just saying. I'm not allowed to be on Reddit. And here you are saying people are posting shit on Reddit. How do you know that?
Because I go on to the safe part of Reddit.
This is what's wrong with America, okay? This in the supply
I go
chain.
into the safe part of Reddit that has
There's
been
no
modded.
safe part of
That's
Reddit.
been modded by people who listen to this number one.
No. Bullshit. You know that's bullshit.
Unspoiled section when I posted the stuff
off.
last week.
Fuck
you can
off.
You can continue to think that I'm deep diving into Reddit. I got way better things to do.
Everybody is on my side on this. That you are just two-facing me right now. Honestly, I'm being gaslit. Anyways, episode 7. So flip-floppy. That's you when we talk about Reddit. So flip-floppy.
Well done. Well done. Nice done. Also, if Reddit's a far safer place.
We're
to
not
be than
talking
Twitter.
about it
Let's
anymore.
Let's be honest. Clicking into Twitter comments on somebody's thing.
I'm sorry, I'm interacting with the fans. That's on me.
That's
on me growing our audience.
Yeah.
You're just on Reddit getting spoiled and acting like you're not.
I would have told you if
Anyways.
I got spoiled.
We got
I would have been so upset.
Callum gave family pictures in the beginning, and
We did.
Emmanuel got family pictures in the beginning.
Woo.
That sent
You
me
know
into
who
a
didn't get
spiral
family
immediately.
photos at the beginning?
Corey.
Corey had no family photos. I go, oh, he's safe.
He's good. He'll be fine.
He's good. He's good. Like, he's going to yell at somebody, but he'll be good. He'll be fine.
It got me a little confused when we got to the elimination and Emmanuel and Corey were down there, and I was like, I saw Callum's mom. That doesn't just happen.
It doesn't happen unless the entire episode was about how great your relationship is with Michelle, considering apparently you're seeing somebody at home.
What the fuck is going on with that? I am so mad that they ended this season with no closure on that. This poor girl is in tears over a guy that has a girlfriend at home.
She sat there for the rest of this fucking season being like, oh, I'll call him when I get back. Maybe I know we'll be far away, but, I wish I would have got one more cuddle in. And this guy was in the room making phone calls to a real girlfriend back at home that he would never admit there was.
I have no idea. I really have no idea.
Okay. So we're on episode 7. We're having the same fits. Episode 7. Now, Mixie.
Mm-hmm.
I might have cracked the code.
Ooh.
I might have done it. Now, I don't want to say that this is the hard-hitting investigative journalism that you come here for on the number one. But I'm also not saying that this is the hard-hitting journalism that you come here for on the number one. I'm working to send Mixie right now.
Oh, gosh.
2 photographs. I'm going to put them up here on YouTube for everybody to see.
I'm ready.
Now, Mixie, there are 2 photos here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I would like you to click back and forth on these 2 photos of Michelle. Everybody at home can see these photos on the screen. And I think let's play a little spot the difference. Can you see what my eyeball saw? Now, you might have to zoom in, but we can clearly see here on YouTube, boys and girls, that one photo, Miss Michelle has definitely got tan lines in one of these that she doesn't in the other one.
Oh.
So I'm starting to think they're making these people wear the same fits. Some people, the later this goes, to get more. And this is how they're doing this. They're making them dress the same so they can place that wherever they need to in the show. If Michelle goes off on Corey at the end of the season and they need to put that back in here, she's wearing the same fit the entire time. It's not like, oh, in the first confessional when she said this, she was wearing that fit, and now we need her to say this, or we need somebody to say something else. It's a little crafty. I don't know how I feel about it. Actually, I do. I fucking hate it.
Listen, maybe the challenge
Journalism.
isn't supposed to be about the fashion, but man, do we love the fits.
We do.
And all of,
We had a
I
whole
just-
segment about Olivia's fits last
I
year.
was just going to say, I think back to all of Olivia's tops and all of the gravity-defying angles that we got of her boobs. And for us to not be given that same quality of television and fashion-forward fits is disgusting. Nerese as well. One of the reasons I like Nerese so much on the first season was her, like, retro early 2000s types of fits, and I love the top that she's wearing. Is it defying gravity? Yes. Are we all happy with what we're seeing? Yes. But she would give me 5 variations of that.
That's true.
I get what they're doing. Is it smart as a production? Absolutely. They're geniuses for this. I'm sure this made editing a lot easier for them. But as a viewer, I am ready to grab a pitchfork. This is not the challenge I signed up for.
No, it's creating some false storylines, and you know what? We figured it out, and that's why I have one of these fucking bad boys.
Oh, get wrecked. Get wrecked by the angel thing that holds a ball. Get wrecked by
Angel
it.
thing.
It's a cranium.
Angel thing holding a ball. It's an Emmy.
What the fuck is an Emmy? Is an Emmy an actual thing? Are we going to get into this? It's an Emmy. Is an Oscar an actual thing? Like, I get that that's the name of the award, but, like, is it like a fucking mythical creature or something?
All right, let's get to the next part of this
No,
episode.
you can't leave
after
me
the-
hanging on this. Listen, you can cut it all out. I just need to. Now you're acting like I'm crazy. Is an Emmy like a fairy? She was a fairy.
So we're seeing all the couples.
It's a Grammy.
We're seeing all the couples hanging out.
I'm
We see
Googling.
Michelle
Go ahead,
in the hot tub making out, and I go, no, not our girl. Not our girl. Don't do this to our girl. Don't show us this terrible scene. God damn it. I don't like this. Like, we're seeing all the couples, like, hanging out. I'm just like, of course this is the season where there's actually couples, right? Like, versus the other seasons where we're like, we want more hookups. Here's the problem. They're not showing us them actually, like, hooking up and making out.
Yeah, they're
Like,
not.
Like, I'm seeing more of Kylan get a lap dance, which we definitely won't talk about anymore, than I'm seeing, like, James and Mariah doing physically anything with each other, right?
Honestly, I'm happy for that. I don't want to see Mariah right now. She's pissing me off.
Did you look up what an Emmy and an Oscar and a Grammy are?
An Emmy is actually an Emmy, an IMMY. Did you know this?
Okay, keep going.
A
Let's see what you
nickname
got.
for image orthicon, a camera tube used in television.
Oh, there you go.
Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Is an Emmy an actual, like, thing, though? Like, I know it's an award, but, like, is it like a mythical thing?
Like Zeus?
Sure.
No. It's just a person holding
But what
the
is
thing.
a Grammy then? Like, I know a Grammy is an award,
A
but is it
gramophone?
Oh. What is it?
I don't think you want any more of this.
I'm just gonna
I don't
let this
I don't think you
lie.
want any more of this.
I'm just gonna let this lie.
You're gonna let the cookie crumble where it lays?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
am. That's exactly what
choice.
I'm gonna do.
Yeah, that's a great choice there. Let's do that.
Do you want to talk
Okay.
about the daily?
Sure. I mean, I got a few notes before the daily, but let's
I was
talk about.
bored, but we can go ahead. What are your notes?
I don't care to hear about Horacio and Nerese anymore. I just don't care. Maybe this affects the game later, and that's why we're being held down with a photo of our pet being told by MTV, you fall in love with them. You fucking fall in love with them, you dumb, stupid bitch. You love them the way you love this pet, or I will take this pet from you. Because that's what it feels like right now.
Yeah, I think this is like their golden relationship. They're kind of thinking this is like the new Jordan Tory situation, it seems. As you can see, I didn't write any notes because I was so goddamn bored at this part of the show.
But nobody asked for, nobody came off last season going, God, I would love to see Horacio be in a healthy relationship with somebody. Nobody said that.
Nope.
If anything, I was like, man, I would sure like to see Horacio maybe do some more competitive stuff and not look like a little bitch sometimes when he can't make a decision. They're making him look weak.
Yeah, they're making it seem like Nerys like just fucking runs his shit.
Yeah. They're like showing he can be neutered. This guy won 5 eliminations last year as a rookie. And this season, your storyline with him is he's like a fucking wet blanket who can't make a decision.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Try to change his narrative if you want to hold him up to be like a Jordan replacement of a guy who's fucking great at it. And then just hope he comes into his own on TV. But my God. Okay.
Painful.
Let's play a game, Mixie. You ready?
Oh, boy.
Mixie, it's time to play. Which one of these items was covered up by a challenge sticker and not gaff tape?
Yay! I love this game.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Which One of These Items Was Covered Up by a Challenge Sticker and Not a Gaff Tape? My name is Steve, and I'm your host. Let's meet our contestant this week. She is Mixie. Mixie, tell everyone hi. Tell them something about yourself. Where are you from? What do you do?
Hi, I'm Mixie. I'm from a cornfield in Ohio, and I named my cat after an old man.
Oh, that's great. What's his name?
Walter. We love Walter.
Oh, what a great old man name. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, let me explain to you the rules of which one of these items was covered up by a challenge sticker and not gaff tape.
Okay.
And then we will we'll let you play. How does that sound?
That sounds great. I'm just so happy to be here.
Oh, well, you should be. You really should be. Okay.
I am.
Here's how it's going to work. I'm going to read off 3 items. And then you tell me which one of these items was covered up by a challenge sticker and not gaff tape. Are you ready?
Okay, Steven, I'm a little nervous. I'm not going to lie, but I'm hoping the studio audience can help me out with this.
Studio audience, let her hear ya. All right, they're not on your team. That's all right. That's all right. Okay, here we go. Your first item of 3 is champagne bottle. That's number 1.
Okay.
Number 1 is a champagne bottle. Okay.
Okay.
Number 2, an orange juice container.
Oh, man. Oh, God.
Orange juice container. Okay. So again, number 1 is a champagne bottle.
Okay.
Number 2 is an orange juice container.
Okay. Yeah.
And number 3 is a bottle of nail polish.
Oh.
A bottle of nail polish.
This is hard.
So,
I'm not even
Mixie,
fucking
which
around.
one of these items was covered up by a challenge sticker and not gaff tape? You have 25 seconds.
Okay, so I know. So I just want to clarify. It's one of the 3 was covered by challenge sticker and not gaff tape, correct? Not 2 of the 3.
Which one of these items was
Okay,
covered up by?
Okay.
As a matter of fact, now that we're in the game, I can't reread you the rules.
It's okay. Yeah, no, that's fine. I feel confident. I'm ready to lock in my answer.
Okay.
It is a champagne bottle.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That is incorrect. That was incorrect.
No, it's not. I'm going to fucking throw my phone. No, it's not. I saw it.
There's no need for violence here on this TV program.
Fuck
here.
you, Steven, and fuck this game. It is rigged.
Oh. Whoa.
I saw the champagne bottle with the challenge sticker on it and not gaff tape. It was in the ice bucket.
The correct answer we were looking for is all the above. All the above. All of the above.
I was lied to. This game is horse shit. I was
I don't know what
like,
you're
they
talking
covered
about,
a
young
nail
lady.
polish bottle with a challenge sticker.
If you don't believe us and you're watching on YouTube, here is the nail polish. Here's the champagne bottles and the orange juice containers. 3 in the same episode.
I can't believe I missed the other two. I mean, this champagne bottle is right in front of my face.
Yeah, the first one I noticed was the nail polish, and then I was like, oh, this will be a fun game. What other things can I see that might not have had challenge stickers on it? And then I saw the champagne bottles, and then I saw the orange juice, and I go, well, the game is clearly going to be all of them had challenge stickers on it. I'll make her think it was only 3, and she'll obviously answer champagne bottles, and then
Oh
when I
my
tell her it's all 3,
God.
she'll get very angry. So my plan has worked perfectly. Go me! I actually win! Yay me!
I kind of want to walk off. I kind of want to cause a scene right now. I'm not gonna, but everything in me wants to.
Isn't this more fun than talking about what happened in the first part of the show?
Honestly, yeah. I mean, the daily was boring as fuck. What is
Damn it, that's why we're the number 1. You think this was going to be a boring-ass episode for us to recap? Incorrect. Absolutely incorrect. And if you think that was a fun game, we got one here in just a little bit. If you're thinking about getting out of the car right now, don't. Okay? Don't.
I feel like I need better instructions on the next game, and I'm going to be a lot more skeptical.
That's fair.
Okay.
That's fair, honestly.
Okay. You know what's not fair? This daily. It was
Okay.
unfair to us as challenge fans to make us sit and watch people put triangles upside down.
And then in the wrong hole, too.
Setting. Oh, in the wrong hole.
In the wrong
It's
hole.
Hilarious. Colleen read right to left.
Yep.
Colleen, my girl, we haven't seen you much. I'm hoping that's because you stick
It's a good
around
thing.
for a while. I love you. But right to left, come on.
Not a great strategy, honestly, but I don't think any of these people had a good strategy, honestly. Was this daily kind of boring to watch? Sure. Was there some good moments? Sure. We'll get to those moments.
I would love to hear the good moments because there's only one that I can think of.
Okay, we'll get to those moments. And of course in number 1 fashion I was like, this game is boring. Let's make our own game out of it.
Okay.
So, welcome back to a new game that all other number 1 podcasts would not have. Ladies and gentlemen, here at the number 1, you might think we would say like other podcasts, oh, which team did you think was going to win when you saw all the teams? Did you think it was an advantage to have 4? Not here on the number 1. The number 1 plays a much more important game and asks a far more important question. Which one of these threesomes would you make a foursome?
This is my kind of game. Now, this is a game. This is a trick question because all of them. Smash.
Thanks for coming.
Yay, I win.
Hey, we all win. This is immediately I was like, they showed the first couple. I go, oh, this is going to be a fun game. We're going to see which team we want to have a 3-way with.
Okay, yeah,
So
yeah.
here we go.
Well, it's a 4-way.
It becomes a 4-way. We're
Yeah.
taking the 3-way to a 4-way. And I think for sake of the argument, we will have to count the 4-way and make it in a 5-way.
Okay,
so,
that's fair.
just so we're kind of fair.
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Team 1, Colleen, Jay, and Olivia. Well, thanks for playing the game. It's all figured out right there, everyone. That was a really fun game.
Damn, this
We
is
have
a
some great
tough
parting
game.
gifts.
This is a tough game. I
So,
am so not
Colleen-
attracted to Jay, though. I don't think I could do it.
But you got Colleen and Olivia there.
I understand, but I feel like there is
No, I got it.
3 for 3s that I could hit later.
Okay. It might be this one. James, Melissa, and Emmanuel.
Yeah, that's a better threesome for sure.
Okay.
They're in my top right now.
Okay. Zaza,
Oh,
Michelle, and Callum. See,
that's
thought
my.
it was
I
over.
think that's my team right there.
I thought it was over at the first one, and then each of these groups kept coming out. I'm like, they did a really good job giving us great threesomes
They
for us to
did.
break down.
They did. I liked that one.
The next threesome would be Kyland, Big T, and Horacio.
I'm gonna
And
pass.
I see what they did there. They were like, "Oh, you think we're gonna whatever group Horacio is gonna be in, you're gonna want," and then they're like, "We're gonna put him with Big T and Kylan," and you're like, "Ooh, maybe not."
Yeah, I'm gonna have to pass when Callum and Michelle are on a duo.
Yeah. The last threesome before we get to the foursome, Berta Bertha, Raven, and Corey.
Oh, I'm gonna pass, but Berna Bertha is pulling hard on that one.
Pulling hard like she was pulling those trunks up.
Yeah, she was.
And
Love
then it's
it.
Nerissa, Soph, Mariah, and Ed with no bitch pleases during this episode.
Yeah, I know. No bitch, please. And the last episode, no bitch, please.
Direct shot at us after we did an episode about the bitch pleases. I mean, there's no other way to describe it. It's just
Disgusting.
directly against it.
Come on, Ed. I love you, Ed.
Disgusting.
Disgusted?
Okay, which one you going with?
I'm going Callum, Michelle, and I don't even remember who the other person was.
Zaza. You get a Zaza bonus.
I mean, Zaza. Zaza's running around while me, Michelle, and Callum are going at each other. She's like, you want to see some real speed, bitch? And she's running in circles. You're going with the first one?
Are you cucking Zaza on this?
Zaza is too fast. I can't cuck her if I want to. I can't cuff her if I want to. She's too quick. She's got that speed. You're going with Colleen, Jay, and Olivia?
I mean,
I
yeah.
understand.
I mean, listen, Zaza, Callum, Michelle, close number 2, I think there. Real close number 2. And honestly, before the season, if you would have given me Nerissa and Mariah on a team together, maybe.
Nothing.
But not now.
Nothing pissed me off more than Mariah refusing to go on that fucking rope. You gotta be kidding me.
Nixie, she's got a $13,000 nose job, which, why would you say that out loud on television?
What a ridiculous amount of money to spend on a nose job. I don't really know the quotes, but I can't imagine that that's a normal number. You got played.
Hotties, if any of you have got one, you can message us separately and just tell us what the number was. We don't need it. You don't have to put it out there for us about how much you paid for your nose job, whether you did or did not get one, because you're all hot anyway.
You don't have to say if you know the number from personal or not. I just can't believe that is a number that she is willy-nilly throwing around. And also, that's the reason she can't jump on a rope. I don't know what happened to James. I didn't watch the season. But I have to imagine that he probably hit a person.
I think he hit the person going in because they showed it. They showed him going down. I think that person stopped, and I think his face went into that person and, like, broke his nose because he got a black eye and all puffed up pretty big.
Yeah.
So I think she was thinking about, like, oh, I don't want to look like him. It's like, well.
But, like, you're on a rope swing by yourself. It's not like you're going to run into another person when you fall. Such a stupid, it really makes me mad when people do shit like that. Like, you were on the challenge. You know what you signed up for.
You're not more afraid you're going to pop a titty like a girl did like 15 years ago? Like, what's her name? Oh, man.
That makes sense.
Siobhan, I think. Siobhan popped a titty.
That's hilarious.
Popped one of her implants. It was fucking over. She's like, I think I popped my tit. It's great.
That's incredible.
Great stuff.
Speaking of incredible, yeah, Big T gave us another insane quote about Horacio. She talks about how Horacio voted her in and she was mad at him, but then she says he might not know this, but he is in my alliance. Okay.
Yeah, that's Big T, honey. Not how it works. I know you probably meant that as a joke, but like, don't give people the ammo.
I don't think that she meant it as a joke. I feel like she thinks that he would watch out for her. I'm sure he said something that made her think that, though. I could see him doing that.
Oh yeah, we're good. Like Ed does later to the girls. He's like, oh yeah, I'm good. And
yeah,
then
but
he
that was
cuts to him,
fucking
he's like,
hilarious. I love Ed.
there's no way I'm part of that. They had the whole like Photoshop of the people on the motorcycles.
Hysterical.
It's like, this is great. This is great. I love everything about this.
Amazing.
Back to the daily specifically. That was green, right? That color was green.
I feel like if we're getting into the nitty-gritty, it's teal.
Okay.
But yeah, I would say it's more green than, what were they saying, blue?
They were saying blue.
Well, they were saying red and it was clearly orange, so.
I was furious. I was so. It's like, what?
This showing
Orange?
colors, man.
What do you mean? What do you mean green? That's blue. That's like a light blue. How's that green? And you're right, they said that. I was like, what's going on? What's going on? Now later there was an angle from like the right side. I forget who was up there, but it was blue. I go, oh, that's blue. And so thanks to the sunlight and or whatever color grade they put on this episode, it tweaked those colors enough for them not to look right for us. Which, I'm just going to say this. If you're the post-production supervisor, you're like, hey, how about we don't color grade that? Because I have all of these people saying green,
Colors. Yep.
and that looks as blue as my fucking background here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it didn't make any sense to me. But then again, they had red, blue, and turquoise. So what the fuck are we expecting? You know?
If one of those people would have been like, turquoise is at the bottom, I would have lost it. I would have just turned it off right there.
I was losing hope. I was losing hope while watching this. But
did you have any sort of hope? Was your hope fulfilled by anything in this daily mixie?
Well, you know, I was bored, and a shining light came out in the form of Berna Bertha, double cheeked up on the side of the pyramid, sun shining, getting a back-to-back win, becoming this week's.
Let's go back to back in the single episode.
Pass of the week. Pass of the week. Pass of the week.
Wow.
I had to give it to her because they even they did a sun shining effect on it. Then she talked about it, said she wasn't doing it on purpose, which, girl, whatever. But, and then she says, you're welcome. Thank you, Berna Bertha.
Thank you.
And that's why she deserves that crown, because she acknowledges that she is giving us a gift and we don't deserve it. And quite frankly, a double back-to-back ass with the same short situation.
Wow. Yeah, doing basically the same thing.
Yeah.
She was like, "Oh, I'll win it back to back doing the exact same thing." And I'll be like, "Oh, it's just cuz I'm a dancer. I got to pull up my pants cuz I'm a dancer." And just shove it between my cheeks, Euro style, because whatever, our bodies are works of art in Europe and we don't shame people for showing them off like they do in the United States of America.
Yeah, and she's killing it. And I'm like, Berna Bertha, you go, girl. 2 for 2. You got to be kidding me. And then she doesn't know what a triangle is.
Classic Berna Bertha. Classic Berna Bertha.
God
She
damn it,
heard
Berna
the
Bertha.
Ass of the Week song in her head as she pulled it up. She goes, "Oh yeah, they're playing the song right now, right?" And then she was like, "What? Oh, the white one that I've watched all these other groups allegedly do before I went, and maybe they were not the first group. I don't know. I don't know. I can't definitively say whether they're the first group or not. But that was hysterical. That was
amazing.
Great. That was so good. I loved it so much. I almost loved it as much as Olivia slowly swinging across after the first one and coming back, and she's like, "Oh my God." And in my head, I just heard, "Keep holding on." I started singing it in my head. I was like, "Olivia, don't you fall."
It was so
Don't you
funny.
fall.
That was so funny.
Oh, and her drop on the way down. Holy shit.
But she hit her back. I can't imagine that hurt that bad.
It just would knock the wind out of you, though. It would just knock the wind out of you. It just hits and just painful.
Dude, she
I
got
mean,
her
the life-
fucking face shattered by a golf ball. That's nothing.
I thought she was going to land on her face again. I saw her tumbling. I go, oh, no, not again. No, not again. Please, not the face, not the moneymaker. Not the moneymaker.
God damn
not
it.
Again.
She survived. She made
Thank
it through,
God.
made it through.
Thank God. All right, so there's a decision time to be made for our least favorite threesome pick becoming a foursome. Shocker that they would do this to us. I think Jay is starting to sound like he wants to be the third member of the number one, with the quote by saying, I don't know if Horacio knows how to speak or he doesn't know at all what's happening. I was like, great job. Welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, that's the thing we keep saying. What the fuck is going on with Horacio? Like, bro, you are top 3 in this season. What are you doing? Is he just trying to cruise? I feel like he's going to make more enemies doing this shit than just fucking being decisive. Emmanuel called him a pussy. Or a bitch.
did.
Which one was it?
Both are applicable here.
Yeah.
I think he loves the game aspect of the challenge. He does not like the game portion of the challenge. He wants to play the competitive part and do the fun shit and win, but he doesn't like the other part that comes with it because the other show he's on is just all competition. If you're good at competition, you get to stay around. And for this, he's got to play the other role, and that's what he's not good at.
Yep.
Now, if he starts to be able to figure out how to do that, he's going to be really good.
Yep.
But I don't know if he's got it in him.
I don't have faith. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't have faith.
And again, why show this version of him to us? I don't get it. They always, we're looking for new stars. I got to be able to pluck new stars and build new people up.
Yeah.
This is not doing it. The relationship with Nerys is not doing it again. And I'm like, I don't know. They pick Emmanuel. Horacio says, I didn't have a voice in there because Kyland, who again I thought was on Team USA, based off all the graphics you've given us, is not really with him. He protected James and Callum.
I don't understand.
I was hoping you could provide some sort of insight.
I have no insight whatsoever.
Okay, great.
Other than
That
Melissa
makes me
has
feel
to
better.
have a grade A pussy.
I don't think they're fucking. No way they're fucking in the house.
You don't think they're fucking?
No, I don't think they are.
I think they're like fucking in the bathroom, no mics. That's why we're not seeing it.
Oh, that's
Melissa
very
seems very in touch with her OnlyFans, as you would,
Oh, yeah.
as I would say. So I can't imagine they're on week like what 4 at this point, maybe 3. They've been going hot and heavy since episode 1.
Do you see somebody as Kylan who's like just gonna hook up with somebody in a house? Like he's got, I can't kiss you in front of people on the stage,
but in
I'm just
front
gonna
of people,
bang you in the room with the camera in the corner.
That's what I'm saying. If they're in the bathroom, they're pulling an Emmanuel Tory, right? They're fixing the pipes in the bathroom.
Emmanuel probably said, "Hey, bro."
I
Go to the
can
bathroom.
see him being smart and figuring out a place that they could fucking not get caught and taking their mics off and fucking in a corner somewhere.
Well, there was a few weeks ago. It wasn't last week. The one that we just talked about because Huey was still there, and there was the question. He was like, "Who's the horniest one?" And Melissa's like, "Me."
That's why I think that they're fucking.
Okay. Interesting. I mean, I don't.
Are Kylan and Melissa fucking or not?
Oh, great poll. Whoever was responsible for the poll again last week, put it up there.
Yeah, I would love to know if people think that they're fucking. They have to be fucking. I get what you're saying about Kylan, but he's smart. And he also really likes her, clearly, because he's throwing away his entire alliance for her.
Yeah, and I guess if I'm in his set of shoes there, I might go, listen, she's going to go back to the UK. She's going to find something else. If I want to fuck her, I got to do it here, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not saying maybe there's not some non-direct fucking. There's some other things, going on.
Hand
perhaps.
play, if you will, or mouth play. There's no chance that they haven't done
There's
something.
no blasting.
Yeah.
Maybe some soaking, or trampolining.
Yes,
maybe
they could be soaking. They could be soaking. Let's not take that off the table.
We're not taking soaking off the table.
No.
It's more
Soaking's
likely
on
that
the
there's some
table.
trampolining going on.
Uh
But,
huh.
that's-
Yeah.
that's-
Something's
that's-
happening, and I believe that strongly.
Noted for the record, officially, everybody. Let that be known. Okay. So Emmanuel's picked. We go
Mhm.
back to the house. We're gonna go outside where all the oranges are on the table. I don't know if they're fake oranges. I would really like to know that.
Yeah.
And Corey
Important.
is pissed that his name is coming up, Mixie. He is upset. He lets it fly. He's like, how do I get out of this one? Oh, I know. Let me just throw Melissa and Big T away like pieces of garbage.
Steven, he was so defensive from the get-go. So aggressively defensive. Unnecessarily. Like, my guy, I'm sorry. You know, and like the funniest thing was right before Callum and Emmanuel like looking at each other when Corey's asking what name was going around. I was
so right.
doubled over. He knew it was him.
Yeah.
But he was so defensive about it. Instead of using that energy to try to figure out somebody else that should be nominated and why and coming up with something, and he's like, no one else is going to bring up another name? Bro, you're the only name on the table. You should probably bring up another name. Not fucking tell everybody that you're that you've been using Big T and Melissa for information.
What a horrible idea.
It was watching a train run into a wall. It was amazing.
Remember how I said like early on, I don't like this idea of like we're voting here and not like doing it somewhere, like we're going to say all this stuff. And then everybody was putting their foot in their mouth like the entire time.
They
and
keep
the
doing
production was getting what they wanted. This might be one of the weirdest, wildest decisions I've ever seen on this television show. And like his rationale for it was like, oh, my alliance will believe me now. And I'm like, you publicly outed two people you're getting information from. Like, what makes me think that you would not do the same thing for me?
Do the exact same thing.
If our numbers became as low as theirs were.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
He
it's what I said. It's what I said that week with Michelle. He was upset that he thought he's so smart.
Mm-hmm.
He thought he was the smartest one in this fucking house.
Yep. Absolutely. He still thinks it.
He made that decision that fucked his game by saying Asaf doesn't have to go in. Asaf is back. He has no idea Asaf is working with Jay. It was all going to go against him. It's going to continue to go against him every single week. And the girls were getting really visibly upset.
Yeah, the way he delivered it was so cold. He goes, I used you. It's fine.
That's what the fuck boy in your relationship situationship texts you, who doesn't have the courage to say it to your face. And he's like, yeah, I was just using you for sex, basically. Deal with it.
Nerese is laughing, like, openly. Big T, the entire time, is just mouth agape. Just
Big T was doing what I did. I did the same thing. This is not happening. He did not just say that out loud. I was like, no, his face is on camera. It's not like they reused the audio.
No, I mean, he just like quadruples down on it. They did show him for a split second with like tears running down his
At the end.
face.
Yeah.
Like,
I want to know how it got to that point. If somebody was like, you need to stop. You're being very mean. You're being mean.
That shit was wild. That shit was fucking wild. Even Michelle was like, I get what you're trying to do, but what the fuck, my guy?
But here's the thing now. If you're his main alliance, I don't want to be anywhere near you.
Totally.
Like, Michelle's got to be like, don't you dare tell anyone that I'm your person.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think that's Michelle's 5th number one at this point.
Listen, at this point, Michelle is coasting to the final. She's got everyone on her back.
Unless there's a chaos. And somebody wants to make an example.
But, like, I think what's going to happen is what Devin said. Devin kind of showed cards a little bit. Let's get to Devin. Devin comes out. I'm screaming, Big Brother sucks at my TV because I obviously have to. I was pumped to see Devin.
How can you not be? It ran through my veins. I was like, let's go. Let's go. And then he pulled out a classic line. He dropped the L7 weenie from Sandlot. I mean, this is why he's the best. Pulling out Sandlot references on the challenge.
Everything he said was so good. Every fucking word that came out of his mouth was absolute gold.
These are the moments that Devin is made for.
Oh, yeah.
He pulled chaos out.
Of course he did. Of course he did.
Which,
randomly, Steven, don't even suggest something else.
I would not suggest that. I would definitely not suggest it, even if he gave a reasoning of why he picked the middle one, being like, oh, it's just right here in front of me. So are the other two, Devin. So are the other two. They're not on the other side of the arena.
All in front of you.
They're all literally in front of you. One's just slightly to your right. One's just slightly to your left. It's not like a mile difference.
And then he says, my only objective is to ruin someone's day. Amazing.
Amazing. That should be in your email signature, Mixie.
Yes, it should be. I hope I ruin your day.
Should we make a shirt
Shit.
for Christmas time?
That should be. That's a nice holiday shirt.
The only thing I want to do is ruin someone's day. I wonder how many people would buy that shirt if we made it.
Let us know if you would buy that shirt.
All right. Yeah. Another poll for the poll person.
I loved it. I loved that he was trying to get people in trouble by trying to get people to say names. And Big T's like, Corey. And he's like, well, yeah, he's down here. I assumed you guys didn't like him. These two, they're not going to be called down. He specifically said, and I said this in the beginning, and I think this is going to keep happening. He specifically says, I'm not calling someone down here that I know.
Oh, okay.
Because, and I've said this about Devin before, and I'll say it again. I think this is why he split the prize money. I think this is why he does a lot of the things he does. He doesn't play for the season he's in. He's not playing for this episode. He is playing for the long haul. He knows it's highly probable that the people he knows and has seen on past seasons are probably going to come back. Someone like a James or Callum don't have as much of a guarantee of coming back as someone as like a Corey or a Jay.
Or an Emmanuel. It's a great point. He was only really going to pick one of two people once chaos was picked, and it was going to be James or Callum. It was going to be those two, right?
And his explanation at the end, like, I wish I didn't pick Callum. Seems like people like nice. Him. And Mariah's 100% banging that giant guy.
Quote of the season. I will never write another quote down that I will have to be like, is this a quote of the week, quote of the season nominee? Okay. When it's the quote of the season, we play the quote of the season. Here's the quote of the season. I know we're in episode 7 or 8. I don't know what the numbers are anymore.
Doesn't matter.
Quote of the season, it's right here. I'm calling my shot. Quote.
I've never claimed to be Nostradamus, but I'm pretty sure Mariah's banging that giant guy.
You know when people say, oh, I laughed out loud. I laughed out loud.
I did too.
I've never claimed to be Nostradamus, but I'm pretty sure Mariah is banging that giant guy. I mean, what a wordsmith. Shakespeare, is that you? No, it's just Devin.
Mariah fucking goes, don't pick him, and then immediately goes, fuck, I can't say that.
What a fucking idiot.
So stupid. And then Mariah gets mad at Devin for picking Callum and goes, Michelle's like with that guy. She's like, Devin, you're such an idiot. First of all, Devin's saving Michelle's ass by doing this because Callum has a girlfriend. Obviously, Devin doesn't know this, but secretly, he's a hero. Secondly,
I didn't even think of that.
Obviously, Mariah, he doesn't know that. Michelle, as she said, they are friends. He was looking at her. She clearly protected Jay. If she wanted to protect Callum, she could have protected Callum. She chose not to do that.
She could have just stood because she said, I'm trying to give Devin a sign, but I can't really do it. Just stand in front of Callum when Devin's looking at you. He stares at you and you just slide in front of him. That's how you would do it. As funny as like kind of heartbreaking as this was in the moment, you're right. You're saving Michelle the long-term heartbreak.
Hero.
Also, look at Michelle's face right now on YouTube. I mean, am I getting that if he picks James? I'm not.
No,
I am not.
You're not.
That was amazing. That was amazing.
The whole thing was so fucking good. Just this man put the season on his back in this last 25, 30 minutes.
Unbelievable. And that's what he does. That's what he does, though.
Horrible elimination at its face value. But does Devin give us a horrible elimination? No. He spills a bunch of shit. He's fucking talking. He's cheating off of Callum.
Sure. Yeah. Call it what it is. Looking over there, getting numbers. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
He's making TJ laugh. I've yet to see TJ be this happy the entire season.
It was great. It was great. I'm like sitting there. I'm like, Michelle is outwardly cheering for Callum, along with other people that I did not think would openly cheer for Callum.
Yeah. This
was, as we said earlier, not a great thing to put on television because the numbers were so high. At no point did they go, oh, this one's right, green. No, we just have to keep trying to figure out which one of the... I don't even think we saw the 10 things that there was on there. But that doesn't matter.
What was the one thing going through your head during all of this? What would have been so nice to have had on screen when this was happening?
A timer?
Oh, was the whole time I sat there like, how long did this take? I want to know how long this took.
And then you'd be like, oh, 10 minutes. Oh, no, now they're back 20. Oh, now we're at 30. Oh, now we're at 45. You think counting is easy? No, it's not. Math.
I would, again, they give us pointless-ass fucking graphics when we're playing Bingo Bango. I'm getting lines to Mariah. I don't give a fuck where Mariah is. She's not even involved in the situation that you're giving her a graphic for. Yet I can't get a clock on this. I don't even care if it's real.
Yeah, just make it up like the 3 seconds that was left on the puzzle pieces in the water. Like that wasn't real.
Something.
Yeah, just make it up. Like who cares?
And they're like, and Callum's like, oh, I checked all of these and I did it again. I don't know which ones to check. Well, I don't know if you're being an idiot or if you're actually checking everything. If it said 3 hours passed, sure, I'm sure you checked everything.
Yeah. But are you just like thinking you counted the ones the right way? Like I would have loved to seen like all the things. One of them are taped together. One of them they're like in each other. Like great. Not great for television. Probably shouldn't see something like this again. Was this made specifically because Devin was coming in and they kind of wanted to guarantee somebody goes home? Yes. I think we're going to continue to see dailies that reflect the person coming in.
Agreed.
They're not giving Jordan that elimination, right? They're not giving Jordan that elimination. They're not going to give CT that elimination. They're definitely not going to give Brad that elimination. So, like, we're going to get more of these because here's the thing. Production needs these people to go home.
There's too fucking many people on the goddamn show.
They need them to go home because things are going to start getting real fucked down the line when they have these challenges planned and they don't have enough lifeguards left or something.
Or they
like
have
that.
like 15 people in the final.
Yeah. Which would be a wild final, by the way. I'd actually love to see that. Like, give me 5 people or 15.
Yeah.
That's the range I want.
Yeah.
Just like everybody running up the mountain would be great. Like people switching spots like an F1 race. Just let me see them all. And you have a thing on the side where I get to see them move positions during the race. Would love to see that.
Hot take. I think this was a better, even though the elimination itself sucked, I was more entertained by this elimination than Jordan's. And definitely Kaz's. But I personally think this was the most entertaining of the chaos eliminations so far.
Yeah, and just because Devin was there.
Yeah, he's a showman.
That's part of it. Great line. He even brought out an old quote. He said, big chaos guy. And that was a quote of the week back in the day. February 20th, 2021 is what I wrote down as my date of the note. Yes, I still have notes from that long ago.
Look at you.
That season was, I'm looking right now, Double Agents. That's
Damn.
how long ago that was. So that was, I think, in a Clockwork Amber episode. Either that
Wow.
one or... So episode
Look
11
at this
or 12.
archive. Look at this data.
10 or 10, 11. Thank you, Challenge Wiki, for that information. Not out of my head. Last thing we'll say.
Yes, go ahead.
Is this how Bananas found out?
1,000,000% this is how Bananas found out. I hope to God they show Mariah just spiral in the house next week. She's got to mentally spiral after this. She's an idiot. If Devin didn't know that they were fucking, by her being like, don't call his name, very
Yeah.
much did it. Honestly, I bet Devin is kicking himself for not picking James and just fucking Mariah's shit up.
I wonder if Michelle's like, actually, in the time this sucked, but thank you, because I would have got even more involved. I would have fallen in love with this guy.
I hope so. Devin's a hero, and he should be looked at as nothing less than that.
Agreed. Always agreed with that from day one that I met this guy on the show. 100% should
We
be a
love
hero.
Devin.
I would just love to know, like, hey, bro. So I just went to do that, challenge thing, and your girl was on the stage, and there's a bunch of people I knew, like basically everybody except for two guys, and she's done a few of these now, and I was basically like, hey, which one of these people should I not pick? And she's like, not this guy, who was one of the two I was going to pick. So they're probably fucking. I don't know if you've talked, but it was giving those vibes. I would just love to know that conversation.
I agree with you, man.
Or if it went through an intermediary. He gets back and Tori's in the thing, and he goes, Tori, you're never going to believe what I saw.
Uh-huh.
Back in the hotel room, he goes, guess what?
I hope they're all
Mariah.
debriefing each other. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Mariah stepped in front of this giant guy,
Uh-huh.
as I called him in the interview. They're definitely fucking. 100%. And she's like, what? And her and Bananas are close.
Yeah,
So I think this is how this went down. And
100%.
please let him call later in the show and have her spiral.
I so badly want it to happen. I really, really do. That would be so great.
All right, guys. That finishes this super long episode. Thank you
Woo.
for staying with us. We got through it. We appreciate you as always. We will see you soon. Probably not next week, but we don't know yet. We've taken it under advisement, okay?
We're advising and we're discussing behind the scenes.
Yes, we will talk with our advisors, our advisors, and we'll let you know. We do love you very much. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for always being with us. Hit the numb, and we'll see you later. Okay, bye-bye. We love you.
Bye.